Hello, supernatural enthusiasts. Welcome to Beyond the Hub podcast, the go-to destination for all things mysterious and unexplained. I'm Nick. Alongside me is my partner in paranormal exploration.
Brandon. That's right, folks. Today we're going to be discussing cursed films and taking you behind the scenes. Firstly, we were absolutely amazed by the fantastic stories everyone shared during our last session. To those of you who posted this week, your paranormal encounter could be featured later on in the show. So stay tuned until the end to find out. And don't forget to join our Facebook group, Paranormal, Haunted, Creepy Places, and Ghost Stories. Welcome home. And share your story for next week's show. Don't miss out.
Don't miss out. Of course, as always, if you're enjoying the show, make sure to like this video, subscribe, to stay updated on all of our latest episodes and content. We are closing in on 500 subscribers. It's crazy. When we started, we were at like 100.
I think so.
Nothing. Be sure to share it with your friends and family, as sharing our content is the most effective way to expand our community.
Yeah.
We truly value each and every one of you, and thank you so much. But just a heads up, we're streaming live on YouTube, Twitch, and to our Facebook group, so no one misses out. But after the first hour, we'll be shifting gears and focusing solely on YouTube and Twitch. So if you're enjoying what you're seeing, make sure to join us over there for the rest of the show. Can't wait to have you with us.
So welcome to Cursed Films Behind the Scenes. Today we're exposing the dark side of Hollywood. Join us as we uncover the mysterious curses surrounding 3 infamous films. First off, we have the tragic occurrences of The Exorcist. Then we will be discussing the accident-prone set of The Omen.
Ooh.
And finally, the bone-chilling pool scene on the set of The Poltergeist.
It's very cryptic.
Bone-chilling is there's an emphasis on the bone-chilling part. So without further ado, let's jump right into it then with the history of The Exorcist. So The Exorcist was released in 1973. It's a horror film directed by William Friedkin based on William Peter Blatty's novel of the same name. The story revolves around the demonic possession of a young girl named Regan McNeil.
Regan McNeil.
And the attempts to exorcise the demon by 2 priests, Father Marin and Father Karras. Karras? I believe it's Karras. The film shocked audiences with its intense portrayal of supernatural horror and graphic imagery, becoming one of the most iconic horror films of all time. But did you know that The Exorcist was inspired by events that were claimed to be based on a true story?
I did not.
I did not know that.
Not until today.
So author William Peter Blatty drew inspiration. Did you really just Family Guy? Peter Griffin? Okay. All right, buddy. Author William Peter Blatty drew inspiration from a 1949 case of demonic possession and exorcism involving a boy known pseudonymously. This word is so hard for me to say. Pseudonymously. Soup
Donald.
Pseudonymously. Yeah. So involving a boy known pseudonymously as Roland Doe, sometimes referred to as Robbie Mannheim in later accounts. So in this case, which took place in St. Louis, Missouri, in 1949, a young boy reportedly exhibited signs of possession, including speaking in tongues, levitating, and displaying aversion to religious objects. Now, this is the actual case that the movie was based on. This is what is claimed to have really happened.
Yeah.
So the family sought the help of Catholic priests, eventually leading to a series of exorcism rituals. Blatty fictionalized the events of the exorcism to hide the identity of the young man who went through the ritual. He changed the possessed victim to a young girl and moved the entire sequence from St. Louis to Washington, D.C. The Exorcist in the book, however, Father Marin, was closely based on William Bowdern. Now, what instantly makes me kind of laugh about this is that the author intentionally changed to try the people involved in the story to try to protect the identity, keep it anonymous. We were able to figure it out. Like I just think that's kind of funny. Like despite his best efforts,
Over time.
yeah, sure. Despite his best efforts, we were able to track down that this movie was based on an actual incident of an exorcism.
Supposed
incident.
incident.
Now, when the movie was released, was it claimed to be based on a true story, or was it just The Exorcist, and that's the movie?
I don't know. I don't know if they highlighted that in the film or not. Does anyone in the chat know about that?
I'm not too sure. I've never seen it personally. I'm not the horror movie kind of guy. I don't really watch these movies.
First, we'll just say hello to everyone. Not a true story.
No.
So it wasn't saying it was based on a true story, but it was based on these events.
Based on true events. Okay.
Vanessa, hello. Vivek, hello. Lynn, hello. Oh, it's going too fast right now.
We got a lot of people saying hello.
Gloria, hello. Jerry, hello. Karen, hello. Peter, hello. Probably didn't laugh when I said laughed at that name earlier. Jennifer, hello. Karen, Vanessa, did I say that already?
Yeah, so this isn't like The Fourth Kind, where that's one of the few horror genre movies that I have seen, where it featured, they claim it featured like real audio recordings from her therapy.
Yeah.
Like the hypnotherapy she was going through or whatever she was doing there. I think that this was not advertised like that at all.
No.
The people in the chat are also saying that it was not. So just wanted to make that distinction there. But Blatty, intrigued by this case and drawing from his Catholic background, used it as the basis for his novel, The Exorcist, which he published in 1971. While Blatty took creative liberties in his storytelling, the novel and the film adaptation were heavily influenced by the purported events of the Roland Doe case.
Wait, it's 4:38 in India.
Whoa! Good morning.
Morning, Vivek.
We hope we can make you make
Tammy.
your morning a little bit more interesting.
More interesting. Tammy, hello again. How are you gentlemen doing? We're doing well. You know, just talking about these cursed movies.
Cursed films. Yeah. Well, initially when we were discussing this topic, I thought we were going to be going into more of the films themselves having a curse, like if you watch it, you're cursed kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because I've heard stuff about that. I didn't think we were going to go as deep as we did.
Yeah.
We ended up going where we found out that like along the production of these films, there was very strange activity, to say the least, that we're going to be getting into here.
It's interesting that they're all, I wouldn't say related, but they're all related in a sense that it's all supernatural occurrences with demons.
Yeah.
It's interesting that all of them have to do with a demon, or as you will find out, the Antichrist.
Yeah.
And stuff like that's so powerful that it just affects them like that. There's definitely a coincidence here.
You're saying there's definitely a coincidence?
Yes.
I don't think it's a coincidence.
I think it's a fact.
I think that these things are happening because of the nature of the films, man. Like the things that they're exploring with these films. Like maybe they're opening, and I'm gonna go again. Here I go again, talking about portals. But I think they might be opening some sort of portal to invite these things.
Karen says, my daughter Libby says hi. Hi, Libby. Well, hi everyone. Vanessa, they said when they made the Freddy movies, weird stuff happened on set as well. Interesting.
I didn't hear about that one, but someone said portals are real. Vanessa, yes, that's what I'm talking about. Thanks, Vanessa. Portals are real. I agree. Whether we can see them or not, maybe there's different kinds. I don't know. We're going to be doing a separate episode on that. I just love bringing it up. So we're going to discuss the first crazy thing we found about the curse of the Exorcist. Well, I should say the curse of the Exorcist. Yeah, we'll use those air quotes in the curse.
Curse.
Father St. Thomas Birmingham, S.J., from the Jesuit community, a Roman Catholic order of priests at Fordham University, had been hired as a technical advisor for the film, along with Father John Nicola. Friedkin came to Birmingham and asked him to exorcise the set. The priest was unable to perform an actual exorcism, but he did give a solemn blessing in a ceremony that was attended by everyone then on the set. Nothing else happened on the set after the blessing, Birmingham stated, but around that time, there was a fire in the Jesuit residence set in Georgetown.
Interesting.
So a fire broke out on set as they were doing that blessing
Yeah.
ceremony. And it was specifically in the room that represented Regan's bedroom. Regan's, I don't know if I'm saying this right. I've never seen the movie again. So the character Regan. The fire broke out on set specifically in that room. The fire completely destroyed the set, and it was determined that the fire was a result of a bad electric circuit, but it ended up shutting down filming for 6 weeks while the set was constructed again from scratch. Now, ironically, as soon as the new set was ready, the sprinkler system broke down, causing an additional 2-week delay, in which I think that's ironic in the sense that the fire would have set off the sprinkler system.
Yeah.
But it was a delayed reaction. Like the sprinkler system's like, oh yeah, there's a fire in there. We're just gonna not do anything. Oh, you guys got a new set? Oh, I'll kick off now. Like, I mean, I don't know. Maybe the sprinkler system did kick off with the fire in the first place, but I think that's really strange. Actually, definitely very strange.
I was going to add the Wizard of Oz, but I just felt that these three were enough to talk about for this time. But that's definitely something we can discuss further too. There was a bunch of
talking about like the
original
person who like hung themselves on set or something like that.
Then like all the weird stuff that happened on set in the Wizard of Oz too, like when she put on that stuff and it like burned her skin.
Oh, I heard about the Tin Man. The Tin Man person used the paint that like burned their skin.
That and all the was it all that's like all this stuff like the insulation that they use. No, it was asbestos.
Asbestos
that they used as like snow or something. I don't know. We got Ouija boards. Yeah, Ouija boards. I'm too chicken to try that. I wanted to try and record it on my YouTube channel, but when I research it, they'd say it's risky business. I just made a video about that, about Ouija boards. If you want to check that out, and gives like a brief history and my take on Ouija boards a little bit. But
I've heard way too many personal recountings of experiences with the Ouija boards, and I personally would not advise or advocate for somebody to use one. But I've heard too many firsthand accounts of people messing with them and then being tormented by an entity, a spirit, a demon, or something.
Yeah.
For a long time to follow that, and I just personally wouldn't mess with it. But everybody has their own free will to make their own decisions. If it's something that you want to go explore, I can't stop you, but I would not advise that you do that. You can learn a lot about it just by talking with other people about their experiences with it, and like with me, when I talked with many people, it gave me more reason to not mess with those in the first place when I never wanted to in the first place. Let's see. We got this comment I wanted to read. Who's it by? Vanessa Morgana. Yep, it's Vanessa again. You make a story on demons that actually happened. Weird stuff definitely going to happen, and demons going to be stirred. You're right. That's what I at least have come to the conclusion of after all this research and what we see with the cursed films we're discussing today.
When you talk about, you said you did it for Karen. You said you've been investigating for 30 years. You said you don't mess with the Ouija board. What would you say the difference between using the Ouija board and like what's the difference between that and using like the spirit box or just openly communicating? Because for me, it's when you're interacting with an Ouija board, you're interacting with you and the person that is associated with that. Right. So,
well, nobody's supposed to use a Ouija board by themselves.
Yeah.
Right. You've heard crazy stories about that.
So when you're touching someone like that,
you need at least one other person to do it.
I feel like you're affecting all the people around you. Whereas like if I'm just talking to someone, if I'm trying to communicate with something, the effects just happen to me, hopefully, and no one else. Like the example is that when Post Malone they were opening up the Dybbuk box with Zach Bagans. Zach Bagans opened it up and nothing happened to Post Malone until he touched Zach Bagans. And that's when everything happened. But I feel like if he didn't touch him, that may not have affected him. But like, that's like what I kind of like coincide with the Ouija board and like the difference between that. I don't know. You guys get what I'm trying to say. But what's
Yeah,
your
I
opinion
get what
on
you're
that?
saying. I also think that there is a difference between the Ouija board and you said spirit box.
A spirit box or just any form of communication that you're trying to
I
like
think the
speak with
difference in
something.
that is just in the medium. I don't think the action you're performing is really that different. I think the medium is one is electronic based and one is not. I think the Ouija board is a supposed to open up a communication channel in a more of a spiritual sense than an electronic sense,
Yeah.
right? But I think they're both opening up a communication channel with entities that I personally don't want to talk to myself. So I think they're very similar. I think they're absolutely, definitely very similar, but it's to your own discretion on what you would rather use. And I know you're a brave soul who wants to get to the bottom of this stuff with your investigations, Nick, and you will go yourself and put yourself in the line of fire per se in those situations. But I mean, if I could control things, I would be like, no, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. No, everybody, don't stop it. Like, these things are interacting with us enough without us having to talk to them.
Yeah.
Asking them to interact with you more. It's like, yeah. But I'm also just as eager to find out the truth, that you are. It's just where we go with that desire is slightly different.
So then I'll go out there and you just check out the evidence.
Yeah, sure. Sure. Hopefully nothing sticks to you.
Ryan Hoffman. Oh, good to see you. Love what you do. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Scrying.
It's ironic that the conversation today's in the chat, it seems to be around the Ouija board when you just made that video like a week ago. That's pretty,
definitely check it out on
that's
YouTube
pretty
too.
funny. Yeah, if you go to our YouTube at Beyond the Hub podcast, that's our YouTube channel. You will see that Nick just made a video about Ouija boards. He also made one about UFOs, a UFO encounter, or UFO or Starlink. Just where those videos more so are open-ended questions that we want you guys in our community to also contribute on the answer to. Just a little bit of research he does and then puts the video together. Is like, this is what he found, this is what he thinks, what do you guys think, kind of thing.
Mitchie in New York. Oh, I'm curious. Yes, I know. Yeah, we met. I do remember you. Nice to see you. Oh, and there we go. We're muted. Okay. Send the link of that YouTube channel. 1 second. You can continue.
All right. So as we left off, the fire broke out. The set was shut down filming for 6 weeks while they constructed a new set. Then sprinkler system broke down, causing an additional 2 weeks. So altogether, it was delayed by 8 weeks, 2 months.
Yeah.
So William Friedkin, the director, later commented on the mysterious nature of the fire, noting that it occurred on a Sunday morning when no one was present on set. I also think it's coincidence. It's strange that it happened on Sunday.
Yeah.
The incident fueled rumors of a curse surrounding the production as the fire seemed unexplainable. But as we know now, they determined the cause of the fire was electrical in nature. It was an electrical fire.
Yeah.
But there are still so many other strange events and odd coincidences, quote, were reportedly not only during the actual production, but also during the post-production work on the film. He said that when he looked at the uncut footage during production, strange images and visions that were never planned showed up on the film. Friedkin later claimed there are double exposures in the little girl's face at the end of one reel that are unbelievable. I had to do a tremendous amount of reshooting. But unfortunately, Nick and I cannot find those images.
Mostly due to copyright.
Mostly, yeah. But that would have been extremely interesting to dissect those images, to really look at them with all you guys.
Karen says Father Marin's brother died too. I didn't see that. Or wait, did I?
I think that's.
Oh no, yeah,
I think that's
yeah,
next. I think we're going to be talking about these oddly timed deaths.
Yes.
Sorry,
I'm just trying to
just wanted
share
see
some stuff here.
The chat here.
Good.
YouTube channel link. You sent it. Someone said, "What about Diane? What about Wright-Patterson Air Force Base? Do you know anything about something going on there for many, many decades?" I feel like I've stumbled across something in my deep underground military base research. Where is that?
Morris.
What state is that located in?
Trying to find out now. Ohio.
Ohio.
I'll keep that. I'll look up into that when we discuss that.
Yeah. Definitely going to be add that to the list of the deep underground military base stuff we're going to be doing, because that's a good place to check out. I feel like that name sounds familiar because I've done a lot of research into the deep underground military bases, and I still got to read that book Beyond the Pale Horse, I believe it's called.
Yeah.
I'm reading that for that episode. I'm going to be reading that before that episode. The most knowledgeable basis I can get. So we got some oddly timed deaths for this Exorcist film. A few of the actors in the film escaped personal troubles during the shoot. Just as Max von Sydow, who played Father Merrin, touched down in New York to film his first scenes, his brother died unexpectedly in Sweden. Von Sydow himself later became very ill during the filming. That's strange. Definitely strange. Irish actor Jack McGowran. How did you say that? McGowran, or your Irish thing you did?
Jack McGowran.
There you go. He played Burke Dennings. He died only 1 week after his character was killed by the demon in the movie. You're channeling something when you're filming these things. Jason Miller, who played Father Karras, was stunned when his young son, Jordan, was struck down on an empty beach by a motorcyclist who appeared out of nowhere.
You got to watch out for those.
The boy almost died. Yeah, I don't know. Last time I was playing at the beach with my son, a random motorcycle just came out of nowhere on the sand. I don't know about you, but have you ever ridden a motorcycle? Nick, have you ever ridden a motorcycle? Rode a motorcycle? I don't know.
Like a little...
No, like on the road,
No.
real motorcycle.
No.
Yeah, no. Those things don't do good on the sand. So...
They might.
No, they don't. That
Maybe
causes...
maybe it was on the boardwalk.
That causes a lot of accidents. Sand on the side of roads when you're going around twisties and stuff. Yeah, it causes you to lose traction, especially when you're leaning and for a tight turn. Even if you're not going that fast, it can cause you to low side. You go out.
I feel that though.
It's dangerous. I mean, let's just say this child that was struck down on the beach, on the empty. Okay, it's an empty beach. So you think you would have heard or seen the motorcycle coming.
It's true.
Appeared out of nowhere, all right? Let's just say that this is just weird coincidence. Excuse me. And the boy just didn't notice or hear the motorcycle. But it was there, it was plainly, it's not like it just poofed into existence. That's just so hard to believe that even a young boy, we don't know how the age of the boy is. What, he's just we found it was his young son.
Yeah.
But like even my very young son myself, like if I make a noise, he's going to turn his head and look towards it. And a motorcycle is not quiet. You're going to hear it. Even the smaller ones, you're still going to hear them. So this motorcycle just appeared on an empty beach. Empty beach. Appears out of nowhere and strikes the boy, almost killing him. Like the boy's lucky he survived. Fortunate to survive. But these are just some of the weird, untimely deaths that happen with the actors involved in the film.
We got some other comments here. Touch on his first scenes. Yeah, reminds me of White Noise. I've never heard of that. Is that another movie? The old version, the book is
Necronomicon, I believe he's trying to say, the Necronomicon. It's I believe it's called the Book of the Dead. I think it's a necromancy book. I don't know much about it, but I have heard the name dropped a couple times, like outside of, pop culture, video games, and TV.
Yeah.
I've heard that book come up along with like what's his name? Something Crowley. I can't remember his first name. He did some weird like ritual stuff, and like the Book of Enoch. It's along the lines of like those ancient texts that aren't like religious texts, but they have some significance in the weird paranormal world because it's like some sort of magic or occult stuff. I believe that whatever the Necronomicon is, just by its existence, there's people who believe that whatever's in that book is real, true, and accurate.
Yeah.
and that whatever they're practicing is actually happening. So I would lean more towards the side of what's contained in the Necronomicon book is actually relevant to some sense. I'd have to look deeper into that, but it's a good topic to add to our list of things to talk about. I think we have ancient texts somewhere in our
we do
in our list of topics.
I have The Exorcist on VHS, and it's creeping me out. I don't want to watch it. Where is it? I don't know if it was. No, I can't remember if it was this one or the one we're going to be talking about later. That people.
Aleister Crowley, that's the name.
Aleister Crowley.
Thank
There was
you.
people at home when they were watching these movies. They were becoming affected by it.
Like The Exorcist, or you're saying it was a different movie?
I don't know if it was. It was either The Poltergeist or The Exorcist.
I heard it was The Poltergeist.
It might have been, yeah.
The Exorcist. It's
Sounds vivid.
Vivek saying, but I know black magic is real. Yep, I do too. It is absolutely real. And it's something I wouldn't mess with. That's a no for me, dog. That's gonna be a no for me, dog. Excuse me.
I'm just trying to share because don't have a lot of people on the tube. Guys, if you're enjoying what you're watching right now, feel free to share it to everyone too. But we definitely appreciate that. I was a victim of it.
Who's saying that? Is that Vivek? Vivek, when you say you're a victim of it, definitely want to hear more about that. If you could, it's probably going to be a really not awesome, but interesting story to share. If you could share, if you're comfortable with this, share it as a post in our group. I would probably choose it as one of our featured topics at the end of the show to talk about, as long as you're comfortable with sharing it. But to go into detail about your experience in chat is kind of hard, especially with other people coming in there breaking up your story. Definitely share that if you're comfortable with it. You know,
if you do, you could post a link to where it's shared in here too, and then we'll just go from it that way.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're not comfortable with sharing it to the group, you can share it anonymously still. Yeah, you don't have to say who did it or anything. You can just say whatever kind of experience you had that confirmed to you that you know black magic is real, because that could help someone else. You have no idea, like, you don't know. Your story could help someone else who's
resonate with it.
Yeah, they could resonate with it. They don't know. They think that maybe they're the only one out there who's been targeted by or a victim of black magic, and then you sharing a story could help them feel like they're not alone, and then maybe they'll share their story. And the more people that do that, they can expose the evil people that are doing this black magic stuff.
Karen, she had ongoing chronic liver disease before the movie, though. Where do we leave off on here?
The injury. Ellen Burstyn's injury. So,
yeah, she played the role of Reagan's mother. Chris McNeil. I don't know why I'm just giving an accent to everyone now.
It's funny
she
to me.
suffered a significant injury during the filming of The Exorcist. In a scene where Burstyn's character is violently thrown to the ground by a possessed Reagan, the special effects harness actually malfunctioned, causing Burstyn to land forcefully on her coccyx, a small triangular bone at the base of the spinal column. Hey, when we grow up here.
What?
Huh? Nothing. The impact resulted in permanent spinal injury for Burstyn, who later recounted the incident as very traumatic. I can agree with that. The mishap raised questions about the safety protocols on set and also contributed to the notion that the film was cursed.
I think she's exaggerating about how traumatic that incident was. There's no way it was traumatic to be thrown to the ground and break your bottom of your spine.
Tailbone. Yeah, it's a tailbone. I like Brandon felt it was good to put that term.
You're gonna out me like that? You're just gonna out me like that? Really? Come on. I corrected the pronunciation, okay? Just to be clear, pre-show, some words we need to talk about how to pronounce them. And I was like, I'm pretty sure it's pronounced coccyx. And he's like, no. I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure.
What did I have? I had it like a Boston accent. I was like, Caxis.
You were like, Caxis. I'm like, no, buddy. Nope. It's coccyx. It's...
Well, All
funny.
right.
I didn't insist on that, man. Come on. I insisted on being pronouncing things correctly. That's
Yeah,
all.
yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
Don't throw me under the bus like that. I mean, you could try.
Following the release of The Exorcist, Linda Blair, the young actress who portrayed Reagan McNeil, faced intense scrutiny and harassment from some members of the public. That's wrong. She received numerous death threats. This is a little girl playing this role.
I think that's going too far.
In hate mail, with some individuals believing that she had truly become possessed by the demon.
Right, but if she became truly, genuinely possessed by the demon who she was supposed to be portraying, the possessed character, if that's true, shouldn't you be like praying for her? Like, wouldn't a good Christian want to pray for her, seek to help her, not send death threats and hate mail like that?
Yeah,
especially a little girl. Like, hey, I'm not saying that it's not possible for that to have really happened. I think that there's a strong likelihood that could happen. Like, that is maybe is a form of opening that portal to inviting that into your body. Sure, she apparently she did a really good job, like, portraying this possessed child.
Yeah.
Like, I have not seen the movie again. You know, there's a disclaimer there, but I've heard that movie freaks a lot of people out because she does a very good job. So maybe she was genuinely possessed. And if that's the case, being a hateful person and wishing death upon her because she's possessed is not the right thing to do. What the right thing to do would be to pray for her salvation and safety. Okay? I do not advocate any of that. Like, that is absolutely messed up.
I mean, the harassment took a toll on her mental health.
Absolutely.
And her well-being, and highlighted the blurred lines between fiction and reality for audiences too. While Blair herself did not attribute these to a curse, they added to the film's reputation for attracting misfortune.
Right. Because all of these other deaths and near-death experiences and the set fire and all of these things, and then this, after the film, she's harassed by people, but that could just be the state of humanity, you know, of the community, the culture. Doesn't necessarily have to be attributed to the film being cursed, that one specifically. But I think that if she did that good of a job and she wasn't possessed by a demon, that's crazy. If she did that good of a job and she was, that makes sense. Hopefully she's okay and she's not possessed by a demon. So despite these incidents and the rumors of a curse, The Exorcist did go on to become a huge success, earning multiple Academy Awards. The stories of the curse associated with the film continue to live on. Still to this day. Now, I still probably am not going to watch this movie. It's just not my cup of tea. I personally don't really enjoy horror movies, but...
What?
Yeah, no, not really. Not really. I prefer recountings of real incidents of people saying, like, I had this crazy experience where, you know, I got home from work and all of a sudden all my cabinets flew open and my TV turned on, and it was on a channel that was talking about dark magic or something. Like, an experience like that is way more interesting to me than a horror movie. Or somebody who's hunting in the woods with their friend. There's a duo, there's two of them, they go hunting and they're going on private property or, you know, wherever they're exploring. They're told to stay away from a certain area and they're like, oh, let's go check out what that area is, even though they're told to stay away from it. And they see like a werewolf or something and they're like terrified, and it's like, and then they'll share that experience. That's what I'm interested in, because those are real stories, and like, I'm not listening to them to scare myself, to be terrified, just to try to get to the bottom of, like, are these things real? I think they are. I absolutely think they are. And not just because you can't see it or you haven't seen one doesn't mean that it's not real.
Just freaks a lot of people out. Tammy says they just get scared. Vanessa says she was awesome. Jerry said you would think.
Karen says you should watch These Woods Are Haunted. Is that a movie? Have you seen that?
I got a lot of stuff to watch. Everyone always comes up with great movies in the comments here. The Exorcist. You should watch these. Tammy says The Exorcist. I've watched it one time since I bought it, and it stays on my shelf. Oh, it's a series.
It's a series? Okay, I'll check that out.
On.
These woods are haunted.
Keep us in suspense here.
Well, I can figure it out. I can figure out where that is.
Filio?
Philo and AMC? I think I have AMC.
What about this next topic here?
The history of The Omen. The Omen. It's a horror film released in 1979, directed by Richard Donner and written by David Seltzer.
Seltzer water.
Mm-hmm. Spoiler alert. I mean, is it really though? Because it's been out. You've had plenty of time. But the movie follows the story of an American ambassador named Robert Thorne, who comes to realize that his adopted son, Damien,
was a real pain in his thorn.
By being an Antichrist. So he realized his adopted son, Damien, is the Antichrist. Didn't they, like, parody this in American Dad one episode? Like Haley's adopted son or something like that was the Antichrist? Do you remember that? I'm pretty sure they
You talking to me?
Yeah.
Oh, hey. Yeah, they did.
Yeah. They parodied it. And then they went to the whole...
What was his name? Nemo? He's like, but you made the name.
Yeah. It's Omen backwards.
He's like, but you named him that.
History of the Omen.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure there was a nod to the Omen. And Nick and I are very big fans of American Dad.
Mm-hmm.
It's a funny show we like to watch. So as Damien's true nature becomes apparent, mysterious events unfold, leading to a chilling climax. I don't like that.
Mm-mm.
That sounds scary. So, The Curse of the Omen. Gregory Peck's tragic loss. One of the most well-known incidents associated with The Omen involves Gregory Peck, the actor who portrayed Robert Thorne. Peck's son, Jonathan Peck, tragically took his own life just 2 months before filming began. Despite the... What the heck is that? Okay.
Hasn't shown up on here yet.
Despite the devastating loss, Peck chose to proceed with the project, though he later admitted to feeling a sense of unease throughout the production. That's rough. That's really rough. Like, he lost his son, and then still, 2 months later, still continued to go through with the filming.
Yeah, I know.
Like, especially with the subject matter of the film that he had to have known beforehand, before he accepted the role. I if put in that situation, I would not have been able to myself carry on with being involved in that. I mean, maybe he looked at it as, well, my son's already gone, might as well.
Yeah.
But still, like, I don't know. That's just creepy, man. It's like you agree to play a role where you're portraying the father to an adopted son that ends up being the Antichrist, and then your son kills himself. And I'm not trying to make light of suicide. It's tragic. Oh, you looked up these woods are haunted?
No, Karen, that was what that
she
link
put the
was.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
cool. Oh, that looks interesting. Oh, that sounds like... Wait, just from a quick look at that, it looks like there's real people telling their experiences. That's exactly up my alley. Oh, yeah. There's some crazy stuff that oh, man. No, it's all good for the link. You're fine. Man, I really want to go off on some of these experiences I listened to, but they have nothing to do with what we're talking about today, so I'm just going to save it for another time.
Hey, Safari. Hello, everyone. Who's saying hello? New person. Joseph. Hello.
Hello, Joseph.
All right, let's go on here. The show must go on.
Yeah. So there's a plane crash. There's another strange occurrence linked to The Omen, involving a plane chartered by the film's crew. The plane was scheduled to transport several members of the production team to location shoots in the UK. However, at the last minute, the crew decided to switch to a different aircraft, fearing that the original plane was too small. That decision unknowingly saved their lives, as the plane they had initially planned to board crashed shortly after takeoff, resulting in the deaths of everyone on board. So that sounds like some Final Destination type stuff. where they narrowly evaded death, and now death is coming for them. Right? I mean, it's not the gist behind Final Destination. I've seen a couple of those movies. I don't really consider those horror, really. Those are more just freaky movies. Yeah, so that's just really weird. And that's why I hate flying, says Marcus. I personally have never been on an airplane. No, never been flying. I've been, born and raised in the Bronx. I've been on trains. I've been on buses. Subway, yeah, no.
Eat fresh.
Yep, eat fresh. And I've never been on an airplane. I'm not scared of it, but I don't know. I think nowadays, especially with what's going on with Boeing and stuff.
Yeah.
Like I'm more averse to taking an airplane now.
Let me keep going here. What else are we in the? Oh, and that's why I know to this day I can't drive behind
trucks hauling trees. Yeah, that's some Final Destination stuff. I mean, look, hey, just saying. Who said that? Tammy?
No, Karen said that.
Karen? Yeah. I definitely think that it's still a good idea to not be behind a truck hauling any type of a haul that doesn't look like it's secured, because even if it is secured, I wouldn't risk it. Like, I've seen some crazy videos. Like, there's I think it's steel cable wrapped around these spools, but it's extremely under a lot of high pressure. And if one of those were to come off, and then the impact of hitting the ground at whatever speed that truck's going were to bust that open, that steel cable or copper wire, whatever it is, uncompressing, has enough force to just slice your whole vehicle in half. Jeez. Like, it cuts you in half. Like, nope. So if I see any trucks hauling things that look like they can fall off, I'm not doing that. Even just a regular old like pickup truck hauling, like they got a grill back there or a quad or something, I just keep my distance, man. I don't. Nope. I let them go.
Caitlin Wells says entire generation was traumatized by that. Vanessa says,
wasn't The Omen based on part of the revelations of the Bible?
It wasn't based on any like story like possession or stuff like that. It was but at the time all these movies were out. The Exorcist, Poltergeist was coming out. Demons and stuff like that were selling.
Yeah. But I can't say for sure, but I think that
it definitely is.
The Omen was based on what the entirety of Revelation in the Bible is saying, that the Antichrist will come and then will usher in, so many years. I think it's 6 or 7 years of peace before. Well, it's like it's a facade. It's fake peace before the return of Christ to come. And before that, there's also the rapture. I think that's all involved in there. Was that in The Omen? Did you watch The Omen? I forget if you watched it.
It's been a long time since I've seen The Omen, but
yeah, I think that might be, but it's around there. So it's kind of around the Revelation part of the Bible. So there was a safari incident with the Omen movie. Perhaps one of the most chilling incidents associated with the Curse of the Omen occurred during a safari scene. So while they were shooting a sequence involving a group of baboons, the handler in charge of the baboon that was in the car with them was tragically killed by a tiger a few days later. That accident added to the growing belief among some crew members that the film was cursed. That's crazy, but tigers kill people. So
yeah, they do.
So I mean, that one's a little more okay for me to kind of just dismiss as like a tragic accident that just happens, not related to the film. Because I'm pretty sure if you're an exotic animal handler, you are accepting and assuming the risk that one of the exotic animals could just snap and kill you or eat you or attack you. Especially that it's a giant feline. It's a big cat. Tigers, they still have like house cats and feral cats behave instinctually very similar, where you turn your back on them and that's when they pounce. Maybe that's what happened.
Yeah.
We don't know the details. And even if you have a great relationship with that tiger as a person, training it, you turn your back on it and it sets off its instincts and now it's jumping on you. That could happen. That very well could have been the case there. But, you know, there's still people who are skeptical and think that was lending more towards the case that the film is cursed.
Well, let's respond to Vivek's story real quick. On here.
All right, he says, myself and my friends were going back to class. Suddenly near the corridors, a white image appeared, saying to us, hello. The white image entered my body. Whoa, my friend shouted, oh no, it's going to harm Vivek. Actually, I felt I couldn't move my, hand. But with my eyes, I tried to convey my friends to hit me. It's like far sexual high tense I never had before. But lucky our system did not have coeducation. My close friend Rohit just squeezed and pushed me near the doors. I fell and then I felt normal. I was like, I was like upset, but it said something bad to him. I was upset because I wasn't strong enough to resist it from entering my body. Interesting.
That was the dark magic he was talking about.
Yeah, the dark magic. Now I'm curious as to, man, I wish we could talk about this deeper, like more than this chat allows us to right now. I have so many questions about that. Like, was that you said but you won't name the person who did it. Summoning an entity, or was that person themselves trying to take over your body? Was it like a sleep paralysis experience, but you were completely awake? Like that, there's a lot. That's crazy. Like you felt like you were frozen. You couldn't move.
Yeah.
Luckily your friend did push you through the door and you fell and felt normal. What do you have to say about that?
Dark magic, dude.
Dark magic. Black magic. Dark magic.
I don't know if I would ever try that stuff in like New Orleans and stuff.
Oh, no. Don't they do stuff around like Mardi Gras? Like,
yeah.
It's like a big ritualistic holiday. It's not just, naked ladies throwing beads on people.
What do you guys think about that story? And who is this? Tammy says, what other movies do you guys think have curses? We're almost done with this one. We got one more movie that we think has a little curse to it, maybe just a little bit.
And we were talking a little bit about The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
Wasn't there a movie about a movie being cursed? Was that The Ring?
Maybe. I'm not entirely sure.
I'm pretty sure there was a movie about a movie that when everybody in the movie watched said movie,
I know
something comes through the TV. The Grudge?
It might be. Although, have you ever seen the movie VHS?
No.
That is scary.
Is that about a cursed movie?
It's not like so. The premise of it, they go to try to, like, this rich guy wants this specific VHS, and they go and they break in to try to steal this VHS. Mm-hmm. And the VHS has like it's like a found footage kind of,
like Chronicle.
Kind of, but like the stuff that happens when they look through the VHS stuff affects them in this reality too.
Whoa.
But it's like it's a crazy movie. That movie was crazy, and I don't know if you ever heard the history behind the Blair Witch Project too. Like how none of them, they were well aware that it was a movie, but like on the set, like they were put in these situations that they had no ideas. It was basically like there was no lines to the movie. It was just like objections or like outlines of what they wanted them to do that day and figure it out. Everything was like literally them.
So they just filmed them reacting to things and then made a movie out of it, basically.
Yeah, and they were in the woods like screwing with them, basically.
Oh. Isn't that a movie from like more recent? It's like 2010 or something like that?
Yeah,
2012?
It's fairly new. But I'm working off on a tangent here, but those are other good movies.
The question,
those are other good movies.
Other movies that potentially have curses.
That movie is scary. There was a supernatural episode about it. Yeah, there was. Did we get on Lee Remick's?
No.
Lee Remick, during the filming of a scene where actor Gregory Peck is attempting to flee a cemetery while being pursued by a group of vicious dogs. When they filmed the scene, they used a stuntman. Strangely, the dogs, they became overly aggressive and viciously attacked the stuntman, ripping through his protective gear and biting his arms. Like, that was all real. One of the dogs even went for his neck, narrowly missing his jugular. The out-of-control pack refused to heal or listen to its handler. Luckily, the stuntman was able to get away. So what you see in there, like, that was, that happened.
That one, I'd say, like, is more likely to be related to the curse.
Yeah.
Than,
It's like
than
all
the
these
tiger.
dogs just happen
Because
to...
dogs are domesticated. They were trained to perform the scene.
Yeah.
And then they just snapped and lost it. That one. And like, as we know, well, most of us know, maybe some of you guys watching us right now don't know, but there is a theory that dogs, cats, animals in general, but most of our domesticated friends have a sense, or they can see things that we can't. I heard someone refer to their cats as portal guardians. I've heard someone refer to their dog as their spirit savior, stuff like that. And that maybe these dogs saw whatever entity or demonic force was behind all of these occurrences, related to the filming of this movie, that made the dogs go crazy while they were filming it. Now they did film the scene and still included in the movie.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Are we allowed to
This is like a movie of a video of a movie of it. We're just gonna play this clip for you just to show, the little scene of him running away. Is it even in here? This is like on the fly. I just looked this up because this wasn't planned. Let me see if this is...
Tammy says, I think animals are very sensitive to that. Yep. Most people I talk to in the paranormal community also agree. My wife agrees. Nick agrees. Animals can definitely sense these things.
All right, hold on. Let me switch over. So this is a video of a video, so... Oh, they're not even going to show it.
Oh, they didn't officially chase them.
You know what?
Maybe.
You know what, Raymond Brereton? Thank you. Thank you for that. I appreciate that riveting YouTube video you put up there.
That sarcasm is heavy, dude.
Despite these occurrences and rumors of a curse, The Omen went on to become another huge success as well.
No, we got a couple pictures of the set and some characters, right?
Yeah.
We can show. I think you can view one at a time and cycle through them.
Yeah, I can. These are just, Oh, here we go. I'm drawn. Here comes the spammers. Mercedes Messerito. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Goodbye. Okay. So where was I? It should delete on its own.
Hey, man.
Yeah, it's gone.
She was... The spamming bot was drawn to us.
It was drawn to Tammy, I think.
Oh. Careful, Tammy. Careful. You don't want to invite any of these spammer bots.
I mean, it's just like these weird, just interesting photos.
So that's the boy that was the Antichrist in the movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just show some cool photos here. The
What's that window one?
which one? Right here.
Yeah, what's that?
Oh,
Oh.
yep, and we're canceled.
Oops.
That wasn't real, YouTube. That was not real. This is a movie.
Oh, what about the skeleton?
Yeah, thank you.
Do you think the skeleton?
That's in a different.
Yeah, I know, but what about the skeleton in this one?
Where is it?
Up to the left.
Right here.
Up one.
Up?
Yeah.
This one. Right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think that's a real skeleton?
I mean, it's Hollywood, so probably.
Freaking weirdos.
That one picture looks like the little boy that played in The Shining. Oh. Yeah, it does. But now we're gonna come to the last.
The last movie that
The
we
last.
looked into.
And unfortunately, we're going to be switching over to just YouTube and Twitch. So if you guys do like what you're hearing or interested in more, you're more than welcome to come to our YouTube. Let me pull up that link again. Or Twitch.
If you watch on YouTube.
If you watch on YouTube.
It's a lot easier for us to read your comments and stuff because we actually have your names.
Yeah, and it just looks better too. Like Facebook will always downgrade your stuff to like 720.
Yep.
Let me go back. Yeah. I'm gonna start playing like music throughout, maybe some like spooky music. Also, this is our this is our official 10th podcast.
Yeah, this is the 10th one.
This is the 10th. That's that's pretty cool. We've been doing this for a little bit.
Been almost 3 months.
Yeah.
About.
So I mean, like I said, we're closing in on those subscribers. Yeah, Vivek, let us know about your story, and no problem for sharing that. I just posted the link, so that's where we will be. What else? Yeah,
Vivek, if you want to share any other experiences with us, it would be a lot better if you share it in our group, or message our group. You could probably message Nick, and you can message Beyond the Hub podcast, or you can message the group, the Paranormal Creepy Places, Paranormal Haunted Creepy Places, and Ghost Stories. Welcome home.
Welcome home.
If you join that group, even if you don't want to join it and you just want to post your story, you can do it anonymously. Doing it there allows more people to see your story, allows more people to discuss what happened. Definitely advise that you share it there with us.
And we pick 3 submissions and we put them at the end of the podcast. Switching to YouTube. Thank you, Karen. All right, so thank you everyone for joining. Like I said, if you did like this, you can share the Facebook. But we're trying to get everyone to come over to YouTube. That is the here's this person. I'm tired of these sites tagging everyone. And we get a lot of that too. There was people that went out of their way that went all the way to YouTube to post comments like that. Here's the thing. Here's what I'm going to tell you. Facebook will, their algorithm pushes our content lower, and it's the algorithm's confusing to navigate. So Facebook allows the people who own the group to like tag everyone at least once a day, and to try to beat that, because otherwise I'd have to pay to advertise to my own followers because they don't want to put that stuff out there. So
and they intentionally make the algorithm work like that so that they can get more money out of people. Yeah,
so if you're tired of that stuff, I don't know what to tell you. You could turn off the notifications for it, but and a lot of these groups, they made it to where you can't share your own content. Like they share, like that's soliciting their own content. Like, all these things. That's why I made my own group, and that's why we have almost 126,000 people. So if you don't like that, that's tough, Charles. So I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to do that. But so thank you again, everyone, and we are going to talk about the history of the poltergeist next. So we will be there.
We got Vanessa. Thanks, Vanessa. We'll be talking with you.
All right. Bye, Facebook. Are we done? Okay. Rip. Okay.
That guy commented on something like 2 months ago. Right? That Charles guy?
There was that, and there was another person that
I recognize his profile picture.
there was someone else that commented on like my post when I tagged everyone about the alien video. And when there was this female, she went back and forth with me, and I told her, I was like, listen, this is how, if you don't like it. And she's like, good. Then she went over to YouTube and said, these guys are losers and stuff like that. I'm like,
well, look,
people just take out of the time
you're all entitled to your opinions.
Yeah.
And if you're living a miserable life that you feel like just talking shit to everybody, that's your life to live. Like,
yeah.
we're just trying to grow a community here and share our experiences, share these topics with everybody. If you're not here for that, then bye, go. Like, I don't know what to tell you. We're not gonna please everybody. When you try to please everybody, you please no one. We're here to get people who want this. If you don't want it, then go away.
Yeah. So when we start with why don't you go on with the history?
The history of the Poltergeist. We got The Poltergeist being a horror film released in 1982, directed by Tobe Hooper and produced by Steven Spielberg. He produces some wacky films and some cool ones and some normalish ones. Wait, does he produce Indiana Jones?
I think so. Hey, we just got 4 subscribers.
Whoa! Hey, nice.
Vanessa subscribed. Yay! Thank you.
Thank you for your subscriptions, guys.
Appreciate that. Or were we going now?
No, we were on the Poltergeist. Yeah, produced by Steven Spielberg. I just went off on a little bit of a tangent about Steven Spielberg because he makes some cool stuff and some scary stuff. Wait, did he also do Signs? Is he Signs?
Ah, that was such a good movie too. Now I have to look it up so you can continue.
Signs was such a good movie.
That was Mel Gibson.
Mel Gibson.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, he does produce films too.
Oh, that was M. Night Shyamalan.
Oh, what a twist!
Yes.
We mentioned him a week or two ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a twist.
What a
Okay,
twist.
that's surprising.
Yeah.
He did that film. That film was so good.
It was really good.
The Poltergeist is a horror film released in 1982, directed by Tobe Hooper and produced by Steven Spielberg. So this movie revolves around the Freeling family whose suburban home becomes haunted by malevolent spirits. As the supernatural occurrences escalate, the family must confront the forces terrorizing them. So there were some strange events on set, which lend to the idea that this film is cursed. Throughout filming, there were numerous technical glitches and malfunctions with props and special effects. This includes malfunctioning lights, equipment failure, and issues with practical effects, such as the scene with the clown doll that reportedly malfunctioned during filming. Now, this part's freaky. This part is the most freaky part out of everything we've discussed today so far, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So in that scene, a clown doll strangles the young character Robbie. Reportedly, the young actor Oliver Robbins, who played Robbie, almost suffocated for real during filming when the mechanical arms around his neck malfunctioned. That is crazy. What? Absolutely crazy.
The old guy in Poltergeist kind of freaks me out. Yeah, he does. And The Village. Chris Stockley. Bello, I'm finally glad I got the time to catch in live podcast. I appreciate that, Chris. Good to hear from you. Hope you're doing well. Catagate Cat. Love him.
I wonder who love him is. Who's loving him? You love the kid?
The Village.
Maybe the M. Night Shyamalan.
Oh yeah,
Spielberg.
yeah.
That could have been to one of those. Yeah, but on this topic of the what was a clown doll, right?
Mm-hmm.
Strangling someone. We have talked about electronics malfunctioning with the paranormal, and we've talked about when somebody tries to film and capture some activity, paranormal activity. Your equipment might bug out, wig out, act weird. Maybe you go back and review the footage and it's all gone. Or you go back and review the footage and it's all corrupted. Go back and review the footage and the audio's missing. And there's even occurrences of going to record something, and when you were there in person, you didn't hear anything, you didn't see anything, but you review your footage and you have audio that you didn't hear in real life, but it's in the video, and you might capture a weird apparition or something in the video that you didn't see in real life. So it goes both ways. So the fact that this clown doll malfunctioned and almost strangled a kid, I think that that is very likely to have been influenced by paranormal entity, let's say, especially being that the film's name is Poltergeist.
Is it?
The Poltergeist. And the Poltergeist is, well, poltergeist activity is when malevolent spirits are interacting with the physical plane of existence, correct? Like
yes.
if you got
when they
poltergeist,
actually touch something.
when they touch something.
Yeah.
Poltergeist
move
activity
something.
is when you got something thrown across your room, or a cabinet slamming open and shut, and all your windows are closed and you have no central AC. Like, that's poltergeist activity.
Yeah.
Cattegat Cat says M Night. Yes. I'm done using voice text now. Wasn't it filmed on the Indian burial ground? Same thing happened on Freddy the Robot hand they made for Freddy. Would move on its own and malfunction a lot.
Oh, that's so creepy.
That is so creepy. Well, I don't know if it was filmed on the Indian burial ground or if the story of the poltergeist is that it's on a burial ground. Because we're going to get to another thing that's extra weird about the poltergeist. About where in the movie it's set to take place over graves of some sort. I don't know if it was actually filmed on a real Indian burial ground, though. That's the distinction I'm trying to make.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, so I just think that's weird that the little boy was really strangled by this equipment, by this robot. It's weird. It's definitely weird.
Even stranger.
The poltergeist cursed gaining notoriety due to the untimely deaths of several cast members. Dominique Dune, who played the eldest Freeling daughter, Dana, was tragically murdered by her ex-boyfriend in 1982, shortly after the film's release. That's tragic. That's terrible. That's sad. That's really, really strange, though, on top of all of it. And according to Steven Spielberg, he says, quote, "I don't believe in curses. I don't believe in anything like that. And Dominique Dune's death, for me, was a complete, utter coincidence," end quote. Although Dune reportedly told friends that she had a premonition that something bad would happen to her during the filming of Poltergeist. So she wasn't completely accurate about the time frame, but she was accurate about something terrible happening to her, because the film was released and then she was murdered, not during the filming. But yeah, that's not the only weird thing. The boy was strangled. I'm not gonna let go of that. The boy was strangled by the clown robot. That's just freaking weird. That just makes me think. You remember? I don't know. Have you ever gone to Chuck E. Cheese as a kid?
Yes.
You know those like robot animatronic animals. Did you ever find those creepy?
I did, yeah.
I found them creepy. I wasn't scared of them. Like, I still loved going to Chuck E. Cheese. Don't get me wrong. It was one of my favorite places to go as a kid. It wasn't much to do in the Bronx. Going to Chuck E. Cheese is awesome. You know. Anyway, I still found them creepy. There's just something uncanny off about them that I didn't want to look at them when they were up there. Like, they'd be doing their song and dance thing, and I'm like, I'm gonna eat my pizza and look over here. Num num num. Okay. But what if those? Isn't that Five Nights at Freddy's? Isn't that like a premise behind that too?
Yeah.
Like the animatronics get
coming alive at night.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't really watch that. My little brother likes that stuff. But yeah, that's weird. She was tragically murdered shortly after the film's release. Now we have Heather O'Rourke's death. She played the youngest daughter, Carol Ann, and she fell ill during the production of Poltergeist 3 with what was initially thought to be the flu. She tragically passed away at the age of 12, just months before the release of the film. Her death from cardiac arrest due to septic shock caused by a misdiagnosed intestinal issue further fueled rumors of a curse associated with the film. There's a lot. Go back up for a sec. There's a lot that goes wrong that is wrong with that.
Yeah.
She passed away months before the film. Okay. Months before the film was released. But she died from cardiac arrest, but that was due to septic shock, which could also kill you, which was caused by a misdiagnosed intestinal issue. It sounded like she just didn't really have a lot of luck with those doctors. Like, those doctors just did not know what they were doing. Kattegat Cat. Heather O'Rourke had a bowel obstruction since birth, so it's kind of a coincidence that it really kicked in after she started filming the movies. Yeah, there we go. That right there. Thank you for that information. That's crazy. That's great. We like to say it's things that seem like a coincidence aren't really coincidences. Like, there's some explanation behind them. But it is very strange that she had that since birth and then died after she was involved with this film.
Yeah.
That is definitely very strange. And don't take anything we're saying as absolute. Like, what we're saying, this is definitely cursed. This is not. We're all just discussing here what we all think. Like, do you think this is cursed? This is the information we found.
Too many weird coincidences.
Absolutely. That's basically what I come to the conclusion of. Too many weird coincidences. Some of these, like the tiger one with the omen, I'm not going to say that that's due to a curse. That's just misfortune, a tragic misfortune.
Oh, listen to this one. This is now the strange occurrences offset. Beyond the Hub podcast, beyond the deaths of the cast members, other strange occurrences were reported by individuals involved with the production. Joe Beth Williams stated, "I'd go home, all the pictures on the wall would be crooked. No matter how carefully I hung them, they'd be crooked again the next morning. I'd straighten them, and the next day, they'd be crooked again."
That's just saying to me that whatever they were conjuring up or getting involved with these poltergeist, with the poltergeist filming, whether it's knowingly or unknowingly, because this is Hollywood we're talking about, they could have been doing weird things themselves and intentionally. They could have invited something to follow them back home. Maybe
for sure.
She was going back home, right? Or maybe she was involved in something outside of the movie, and she just so happened. That's why she's interested in being involved with this movie, because she's doing some weird stuff, messing with Ouija boards at her house, and they're, related because she's doing the movie and messing with Ouija boards at her house. But it's not because she was doing the movie that this thing is there. Just saying, that's also a possibility. But I wonder if she tried. She said carefully hanging them. I wonder if she tried to really just nail them to the wall, make sure they don't at each corner, because I would have done that. I would have been like, wow, this has happened to me 6 times already. All right, you know what? Bop, 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 bop. Okay, picture ain't going nowhere. And if I come home and it's moved again, I'll be like, that's it, I'm out. I'm leaving. Nope, not living here anymore.
Her poor face was puffing up too, just Vanessa says. By the way, just call me Kat. Can I call you Tech? Tag your name backwards. Is that okay?
Tag attack. They needed a sage. Just Vanessa says they needed a sage bath for themselves and homes. I could have done something to help them out there.
Now this is like the culminating event. This is the pool scene, the infamous pool scene.
And this is where I said bone chilling earlier in the show.
Yeah.
This is where that little bit of corny humor comes from.
This was one of the most intense scenes in the Poltergeist. Involves a character being affected by a malevolent force. In the swimming pool scene, the Freeling's backyard swimming pool becomes the main focal point of the paranormal activity. The family's son, Robbie, is pulled into the pool by a malevolent force while attempting to retrieve a lost toy. As he struggles to stay afloat, the water becomes turbulent, and suddenly skeletons begin to emerge from the pool's depths. The skeletons are revealed to be the remains of bodies buried beneath the house. Meanwhile, Diane Freeling, the mother, rushes to save Robbie from the pool. Oh, by the way, spoiler alert.
That's a little late, don't you think?
Diving into the water and battling against a swirling vortex of supernatural forces. While the help of her husband and the paranormal investigators, she managed to rescue Robbie from the pool's grasp, narrowly escaping the clutches of the malevolent spirits. During the filming of this scene, actress JoBeth Williams expressed discomfort with the use of real skeletons.
That's why. That's just crazy.
She said, I have a bad feeling. I've had a feeling about the skeletons. I've had a very bad feeling. And it wasn't so much during the filming. It was just something in me saying, no, I don't want to be doing this scene.
Yeah, I believe that's your conscience telling you there's something wrong with this.
Now, you're probably wondering, why in the heck are they using real skeletons? Well, it was actually supposedly more cost-effective for the filmmakers to use real skeletons rather than creating or purchasing artificial ones. This was a common practice, supposedly, in the film industry at the time, especially for low-budget or independent productions where resources were limited. Now, they got this from medical ways, probably from people donating their bodies to science, and they just happen to
That's where Hollywood
movie.
Got these. Yeah, they just got them in a totally, not in a totally dignified and just way. Right?
Of course,
they didn't have secret hitmen go out and take targets down so they can harvest the skeletons of people and use them in a movie, right?
No wonder.
I'm not making any accusations. I'm not defaming anyone. I'm just saying, that's a possibility.
Yeah. Tag attack.
You're really sticking with it.
Says go for it. Just Vanessa says no wonder they were being haunted.
Right. Like they're using real skeletons. Like, okay, so one of you mentioned up a little earlier in the chat. Just Vanessa said, wasn't it filmed on the Indian burial ground? See, that's why I don't know if it was actually filmed on a legitimate in a real world Indian burial ground, or if it was part of the movie story that the house was above an Indian burial ground. The fact that that's a real skeleton.
Hold on a second.
That's freaky, man. That's free. Look at her face. That's genuine. That's not an actress making a. Oh, I'm scared. No, that's like she's like this real person's skeleton is there.
They were mixed in. There were some animal skeletons intertwined in there too. So now you got Pet Cemetery and Human Cemetery in this muddy pool.
The cat says, plus back in the day there weren't really many special effects and there weren't many places to buy thick skeletons, so it was just easier for them to go and get real ones. She also says, wasn't that when John Gotti disappeared?
I think so. I mean, look, this is just get me out.
Yeah.
Get me out of here. What else? Is there any other? Just more. I mean,
man,
that's just so creepy.
Nope. I think that's heavily related to why this film has some poltergeist activity, some haunted, cursed activity associated with it. They were using real skeletons, and whatever other movies have used that as whatever practical effects that they're doing. Like,
Yeah.
Sure, they were using I don't believe the answer that it was cheaper. Like, I really don't. Like, you're telling me that you couldn't make some fake skeletons with, I don't know what material. I wasn't alive in the 80s. I was born in the 90s, but whatever material, this should be convincing enough. Like, you don't, especially it's an 80s film, you don't need it to be that. I mean, there's some cringy, like, practical effects in the 80s.
I feel like effects back then were so much more cooler, though. Lag.
There's both.
Or we're lagging.
Chat lag.
Chat lag.
Yeah, I don't think that wait, what's that picture of the
This?
no,
The
down one and over two.
This
Yeah,
one?
what's that one? That's freaky.
That's real.
Yep, that's a practical effect. That's real. They really filmed that. And they said they haven't caught an apparition on camera. Pff, lies. And I don't know, man. I just have a bias towards thinking Hollywood's up to no good. Because of stuff that we found. I mean, just recently they have this whole Nickelodeon people coming out talking about the weird things that they did. What is his name? Dan Schneider?
Yeah.
Involved with some weird stuff. Like, I didn't look too deeply into it, because I really don't want to know.
I watched it.
You watched it?
Yeah.
What was Drake abused?
Yeah.
Like SA?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, bad. His exact words were, imagine the worst thing you could do to someone in that regards, and that's what happened.
Wow. That's messed up.
Yeah.
That's really messed up. And so that's what I'm talking about. Like, that's the stuff that happens in Hollywood and not just Nickelodeon. Nickelodeon's just being exposed for it. I believe it happens with the Disney Channel and Hollywood movies. And there's even rumors of rituals being performed for like black magic, dark magic rituals and things like that. Of even offset, even just these actors and actresses getting together and going to random weird parties in the middle of the woods, worshiping an owl statue.
It's real. I mean, that really
all that stuff
happened.
is real, and they're doing that for no. They're not doing that for no reason. They're doing that because they believe they're accomplishing something that they're intending to accomplish. So, being that this film took real skeletons to use in the filming of this film, I don't think it was just because it was cheaper. I don't believe that one bit.
I think it was intentionally put in there to try to maybe spice up the movie, get more reactions, or conjure something.
Maybe, yeah. I think lean more towards the Conjure thing.
How do you feel about the remake of the Poltergeist? There's too many remakes. I mean, there's remakes of remakes of remakes of remakes. That's all Hollywood knows how to do anymore. There's no originality in anything anymore.
No. And then the things that the things that are bold enough to try to be original with, they usually end up just sucking because
the special effects are just anything, like they go too cheap on stuff too.
It's just not, like, the heart and soul isn't there anymore. Like,
have you noticed that with
it's just cash grabs?
Who's the guy from Die Hard? I know his name. I can't. Why am I blanking on his name right now?
Statham?
No.
No, he's not Die Hard. He's Crank. I was thinking of Crank.
Bruce Willis. You know, he has dementia, or I think he has Alzheimer's or something right now.
I heard his mental is declining.
If you go on Hulu, there are brand new movies about it. There's like 20 new movies with him in there. And I'm thinking, and like there was some speculation on that he sold the rights to his face, or like to his actual being, or like
and they're just like AI
and
putting him in there?
they're like digitally putting on his face because he sold the rights to it. I mean, if you think about it, how can you make 10 or 15 movies within the span of a year in his condition?
Maybe they filmed all those movies like before COVID and they're just releasing them now.
But when you look at the movies themselves, like it just doesn't look like it's really him.
Oh, really?
And like it's just weird. It's just a cash grab. I mean,
they have also done things like that, like what was it? There was a Star Wars thing on Disney, The Mandalorian.
mm-hmm.
I think it was season 2 at the end when Luke comes to save Grogu.
Yeah, he's
Grogu.
digitally placed.
And like, it's not terrible, but it's not good.
Yeah, I feel like that's what it is.
That's it can pass if they like do quick shots and don't really focus on his face. Like, it wasn't that great.
You can keep talking.
Well, I'm not too sure about how they're accomplishing that. Because, like, maybe he's still... Wait, what if he is still filming and he has dementia because he's played so many characters and he doesn't know who he is anymore?
Oh, that's sad. New movie.
Yeah, it is kind of messed up to laugh at that, but I don't know.
Yeah, here. Let me see if I can pull these up. These aren't new.
That one looks... Right there.
This one.
That one looks fake.
Yeah, here. Let me pull this up.
That does not look like Bruce Willis.
Let me pull this up. I mean, look at this. All these movies, like all of his, like these are all the new ones right now. Like that's like that
looks like digitally de-aged Bruce Willis.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like these are like, and they're all like that. If you go on YouTube or Hulu right now and just look up Bruce Willis, there's so many of these movies and they're all in the same time frame. It's really strange.
Well, they don't have any more ideas, and since
They
I mean,
also
is he like officially retired? Has he come out as officially retired?
I think so.
Yeah.
Just Vanessa said they also did that with Bruce Lee too.
Oh, he died from a gunshot on set, right? Was that Bruce Lee? Or was that his son?
Yeah, I have to look that up.
I'm pretty sure he was filming something, and there's a conspiracy theory out there around it. Swelling of the brain caused by an allergic reaction to headache medication, although some... What?
He died in Hong Kong 6 days before the release of the film Enter the Dragon there.
Okay.
His official cause of death was swelling of the brain caused by an allergic reaction, although some consider the circumstances of his death mysterious.
Yeah, but Jeffrey Epstein's official death was also suicide in his jail cell when he's taller than the fucking ceiling.
He was found unconscious.
Who was the one that was shot? Was it Jet Li? One of them was shot. I think one of them was shot on set. No.
We'll figure that out at a different time. But Bruce Lee died from hash. Oh,
Like marijuana? Like hash oil?
maybe. However, let me go back to the point here.
What point?
Of the poltergeist.
The
We're talking. We span from the skeletons and stuff. Despite the incidents reported during its production, the
Brandon Lee, his son died.
Brandon.
That was it. See, he didn't exist because my name's Brandon. So
Yeah.
I don't know any other Brandons.
The Poltergeist is still a timeless classic in the horror genre. But here's a question: are these curses real or just urban legends? Many believe that the curse of a film can be attributed to the dark subject matter, intense filmmaking conditions, or even sheer coincidence, which happen on all of these. However, others swear that there is something more sinister at play.
I do. I swear that there's something more sinister at play, especially with the subject matter of these movies.
Have you heard of any other cursed films? Definitely let us know in the comments. Before we conclude today's show, join us as we explore 3 community submissions from our Facebook group, guaranteed to give you goosebumps.
I used to like Goosebumps. Reading the books.
The books, yeah.
I didn't watch the show too much, but I liked reading the books. They always freak me out.
Here's a group. We're almost at 127,000.
Wow.
Carol Santiago. So, get this perfectly. So I've been experiencing some paranormal crap. At first, it was random noises in my house, and a couple of weeks ago, as soon as I woke up, I heard a woman's voice whisper my name into my ear. 2 days ago, I woke up with 3 scratches on my chest. I don't own any pets. Earlier today, I am home alone watching Grey's. Okay.
Grey's the Aliens?
Grey's Anatomy.
Oh.
In my room, and I hear loud knocking on my room door. I'm a very spiritually connected person, but I'm not really sure what to do because I'm so new to being spiritually connected as I am. Y'all, I need some help.
Well, first of all, I really wish that she was saying that earlier today she's home alone watching Grey Aliens in her room. That would have been way more exciting for me personally. Now, maybe her, if she was actually experiencing that wouldn't have been exciting and it'd be more terrifying. But I know what Grey's Anatomy is. I just actually, the way my brain is wired, I thought, I was hopeful that it was Grey Aliens.
It still might be.
But we do have a bunch of amazing people in our group reaching out to her, seeing what they could do to help her out with her situation.
We have a bunch of chats too.
Now, what do you think about back in the original story post? Oh, I need to see what was that again. She heard a woman's voice whisper her name into her ear. What do you think about that one?
And that's happened to me when I was younger.
Really?
I would hear something call my name.
Inside your house?
Yeah.
It would sound like it's in your house?
Yeah. And I don't know if you've heard legends about the Appalachian Mountains.
Yeah.
And about stuff if you hear whispers or hear stuff not to acknowledge it. That's basically what I did. I just didn't acknowledge it.
What if acknowledging it is the invitation for it to continue?
Maybe that's why I'm so screwed now, because I finally ended up acknowledging
You're acknowledging these things. Oh, you acknowledged it once?
Eventually, I acknowledged it. I told it to F off.
You made the big mistake. That's it. you're doomed for life.
Yeah, unfortunately.
You're gonna have these skinwalkers following you.
Skinwalker.
Yeah, no, I've heard stories of skinwalkers, like, reproducing a voice, like.
Oh yeah, in the woods, like calling out for help and
stuff like that. Even disguising their voice as someone you know. Like think to the level of mind blowingness that it has that for this to be possible. Okay, Skinwalker has the ability. Let's just say, and we'll do a future episode featuring more on these cryptids. But I always end up bringing something up about them. Skinwalker has the ability to mimic, as like extremely closely, the voice of someone you know, very closely, like a family member. But it just something is off about it where you like, that feels weird. But it sounds just like, your brother's voice or something. How do they know that that's the voice to get to you? Like, how do they know that your brother sounds like that and that using that voice to talk to you, you'll associate that with your brother?
Because they've been following you along and they're connected so far in that spiritual realm or something.
That could be. That's crazy. That's crazy. That gives me chills.
There's been shows I've seen about that too, where like
I love it and I hate it.
Ghost hunting shows, like they'll be in a place and then they'll have the radio, and then it'll sound like someone, like one of their other crew, like calling them, "Hey, we're here." He's like, "Hey, what'd you say?" He's like, "I didn't say anything," but it was that guy's voice saying, "Hey, come over here."
Okay, that's with the addition of a radio there. There's a little bit of skepticism for me personally.
It is,
because like they could have staged that.
Yeah.
Be like, watch this. Hey, dude, we're over here.
But I think in the one scene, the other guy was there with him.
That one would be believable.
Yeah.
That one would be freaky as heck. What if it's him stuck in another dimension and a different timeline?
All right.
Yeah. Don't shush me.
No, I'm just that scared. This one is from Tamara Francana Rhodes. Okay. I'm sorry. Would love some input on this picture. This picture was taken a few years ago from our porch camera. We were having a freeze, so it's not a bug. My husband went outside to see if he could see it, and as soon as he got there, it disappeared. I was inside watching the camera. Bloop, 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 bloop.
Okay, with that context, it would have been a little bit better if you had like before and after pictures. Or even if you just posted the little snippet of your camera recording so that we can see it disappear in real time. Because there are going to be a lot of detractors that come and see this and say that's just a smudge on the camera. And before the smudge camera,
Looks kind of like intertwined with the railing there too.
But it does look like it has.
It's going after the pelican.
Yeah, it does look like it has a. It resembles the silhouette of maybe a person, not too big of a person, but a person. I don't know. I'm not going to say that's fake. I don't think that one's fake.
Let's see what people are saying in here. Whoever it was brought his pelican with him. People are funny.
It's dust. Great catch. I wish I had a guess, but looking like a ghost to me. See, it could be a spirit, could be a ghost, it could be
child. Oh, scary face.
It's a nurse in surgical robes reaching out her hand, ready to take the scalpel from her operating theater assistant. That is an excellent description, because like that is extremely specific. I think if it is a spirit, it looks like maybe a older-ish kid, like 10, maybe a teenager, like a fresh teenager, like 13. Looks like a average-sized kid. But I don't know. I don't know.
What do you guys think? What's there people saying? Looks like a...
Vanessa says, looks like a child. Kat says, I love shows about skinwalkers. They are extra creepy. I like them just as much. I tend to listen to more podcasts about people's experiences with them than watching shows. But maybe I should start watching some shows. I watch too much American Dad.
Same. I just rewatch that show.
I just rewatch it over and over again.
We're running through pretty quick today.
Oh, yeah, we're on the last one.
We're on the last one.
Yeah.
We're almost on. This is going to be an early stream today.
Yeah. Well, we didn't really have any videos to really go over too crazy
Because we just put the trailer. I tried to find like
we get copyright struck if we found any of the videos for these movies we're talking about, and we weren't trying to have our stream taken down
again.
When we were just trying to spark discussion about these theories. So Christina Hickman says, "Hi guys, it's been weird since I posted the pic with the green orb on my cousin's pic. I've been seeing shadows move around my house and hearing voices of children. Never respond to voices of children. I live alone, and I took some photos of a fire, and it looks like a face. Can someone please help me find out what's going on? It's starting to really freak me out. P.S. After the face, the flame reached out to me."
See, I'm not too sure about, pictures of flames and stuff, but let's jump in. I'm going to pull this one up. So this is the first picture. It does interestingly look like, some sort of facial structure here. A devilish head.
Yeah, I see a little bit. I see it, yeah. So okay. That's, move the mouse. Move the mouse. That's the nose and mouth, and that's the chin. And then if you go up from the nose a little bit, that's like the brow and the eye. I can see that, but I don't really see much of people making things out of... not many people find significance in flames because they're just so sporadic and random.
And this is the other one. I'm not really
seeing a face in that.
The other one was more...
That one looks like the side profile. It looks like a jack-o'-lantern carving of like a devil.
Yeah. That's a man. She lost someone recently in a fire. Well, she said that it reached out to her afterwards. I'm assuming like the flame itself was like...
I've sat at a bonfire and it whipped me before. That's why I learned not to wear shorts anymore.
But it got a lot of attention. I mean, you got 738 people looking at this.
Yeah.
Looks like a face with a devil horn. You need expert help. I'm trying to see if she commented. What's her name? Christine. I'll see if she responds anymore to here. Other people showing their bonfires. Like, I'll never diminish. Like, if you think something's happening, I'm not gonna. Who am I to judge?
That's kind of funny. My wife just watched that. I think that's from Howl's Moving Castle. We're big anime fans.
Pray for this is demon showing itself to frighten you. Do not invite it to your house. Hopefully these pictures were taken in your yard, not in the house. If this happened in your house, I would leave until someone could do an exorcism in the house. Really?
That looks like a demon looking that way. That one. Like its back is facing you and it's looking away from you. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like, I'm like Nick just said, I'm not going to tell you that your experience with what you felt when you saw the fire in person is not true, but it's just very hard to capture that in a picture. And excuse me, there's not really any other way to capture that, right? So you're lucky enough to have captured the fire. But one thing that is curious to me is that in order for her to take a picture, she must have been prompted to take the picture. So she must have seen something. And then to be able to capture it with fire's random nature of it just...
And she did say before, since I posted that,
flashing around.
Been seeing shadows move around my house and hearing voices. I took some photos of a fire and it looks like...
I wonder if she saw the face and then took the picture. Because she says she just took some photos of a fire, and upon reviewing those, it seems, from how she typed that out, it looks like a face. So I wonder if she saw the face and that made her take a picture. Just Vanessa says that's a man. Has she lost someone recently in a fire? That would be crazy. Yeah, we didn't find any of that in the comments.
After the face of the flame reach out to me. But wait, so when she says that, she took the picture of the fire and didn't see until afterwards, but then she says the face of the flame reach out to me. So then she did see the flame. Or the face then. Or did she take the photo? I don't know. It's definitely interesting. But photos like that can just be...
Yeah. I guess we'll never truly know what she experienced in the moment when she took those pictures. We'll never truly know, but at least we can make out what she's claiming to have seen. Like, we can make it out. So I'm not gonna say it's not there, but
what she's trying to portray, like I do see a face there.
I do see it. Yeah, I do see the face, especially in that first picture. Kat says, "Love Miyazaki." Pretty sure that's the director / creator of these Studio Ghibli films, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not as into the Studio Ghibli films as my wife is, but she just went through a marathon watching like all of them. I had to get her HBO Max so she could watch them all.
That's just Max now.
Oh, whatever.
It's not HBO
I had
anymore.
to get her Max, whatever it is, just so she could watch them all, because she saw one that she wanted to watch. She's like, "Oh, this looks cool." I'm like, "Yeah, I'll set this up for you." And then she's like, "Oh, and this one, and this one." I'm like, "I'll just get Max. Don't worry. Like, you can watch all of them."
Do not forget to join Paranormal Haunted Creepy Places and Ghost Stories Welcome Home and share your story for next week's show. Don't miss out. And we're really thank you guys for tuning in to this week's episode. Your support fuels our curiosity. And we're very grateful to have you with us as we navigate the unknown.
Extremely. And big shout out to each and every one of you today for being part of our growing community. We hope that you join us next week as well. Your enthusiasm is what makes this journey so exhilarating.
Stay tuned, folks, because next week we're gearing up for another thought-provoking episode that promises to keep you on the edge of your seat.
The exploration continues, and we cannot wait to have you back for more revelations.
Remember, your questions and theories fuel our discussion, so please keep them coming. We love the comments.
But until then, stay curious and keep seeking the truth.
Thank you for being a part of the Beyond the Hub family. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you currently are not. Once again, this is Beyond the Hub podcast, where the realms of the paranormal and conspiracies collide. And the truth is waiting to be unveiled. We'll see you next time.
Take care, everyone.